Some downloadable content offers a new angle on the original game, or even adds mechanics that change everything that came before it. Some DLC, though, is just designed to be more. More abilities, more locations, more of the same game that you already love. And when it comes to Insomniac's SpiderMan for the PS4, one of 2018's most beloved games, it's hard to believe that anyone could object to more web-swinging action. But are these 3 new episodes of DLC anything more than that? We'll find out when I complete SpiderMan, the city that never sleeps.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Completionist DLC, brought to you by patreon.com/thecompletionist, where you can sign up and have your name featured in the credits of our show. Today, we're taking a good look at all 3 episodes of Spider-Man's DLC, The City That Never Sleeps. You may remember that my buddy Ted here was lucky enough to get bitten by a radioactive spider, and now we can't wait to throw on that good old spider suit again and get back to the action. Isn't that right, Ted?
Please, don't make me do it again.
Oh, he's good. We're good.
SpiderMan for the PS4 was one of 2018's biggest hits. It got amazing reviews and sold a bajillion copies, and with good reason. It truly captures the feeling of being everyone's favorite wall crawler, with all the heroics and high-flying acrobatics that implies. And even more impressively, it captured the feeling of being Peter Parker, an ordinary guy juggling his normal life with the great responsibility of being a hero. I had a blast with this game, and it was one of the multiple times that Spider-Man made me cry in 2018. The story was shockingly street level, with maybe less supervillain antics than I would have liked, but that kept everything grounded in Peter's emotions. The performances were good, the music sounded like the score to a big budget Spider-Man film, and it all felt like an experience ripped straight from the pages of a Spider-Man comic, specifically one by longtime Spider-Man writer Dan Slott, who also helped write the game, and has an innate sense of what a Spider-Man story should make you feel. And one of those feelings is definitely the exhilaration that comes with swinging all over the city like some kind of Spider-Man. Taking photos while arcing over the top of a skyscraper is pretty much the most Spider-Man thing that's possible to do, and it never really gets old. Isn't that right, Spider-Ted?
I wouldn't know. You never let me leave my terrarium.
That's the spirit, buddy. Being a Spider-Man is more than just web swinging, and the base game puts just as much of an emphasis on its massive combat encounters as Spidey punched, kicked, and webbed his way through goon after goon after goon. Like seriously, you'd think that Manhattan would be out of goons by now. Where do these guys keep coming from? Wherever they come from, I'm glad they kept showing up, because kicking their butts all the way through Spider-Man's campaign, Taskmaster challenges, and random street crimes was consistently fun. Spider-Man's map was riddled with things to collect, not all of which involved kicking dudes in the face. There were also backpacks to collect, research stations to help out at, and landmarks to photograph. It was a lot, but no one individual thing was wildly difficult or time-consuming, and the game kept a pretty steady stream of rewards coming my way as my motivation. Well, technically it gave me a bunch of tokens, but I could get used to those gadget upgrades, and most importantly, a whole boatload of crazy cool spider suits drawn from Spidey's decades-long history. And the promise of more of those slick and stylish suits is a big part of the DLC's draw. Each of the 3 episodes that form the City That Never Sleeps pack comes with 3 new suits, but in order to get them, I'll undoubtedly have to flip, fight, and finesse my way through a whole bunch of new challenges and tasks. And while I don't expect any of those things to deviate wildly from what made the base game so successful, I'm definitely jonesing for more of it. More combat, more web swinging, and more story. While standing on their own as episodes, 3 chunks of this DLC also add up to a larger story, and bring in Spider characters like Black Cat and Hammerhead, who were only hinted at in the base game. And they're bringing in more of a challenge with them too. With a game this focused on combat, there's guaranteed to be a whole new batch of super hard goons just waiting to be punched in the face. And there's even a new game plus mode and a new ultimate difficulty option. I'm gonna have to do those because there are trophies linked to them too, but also because I love a challenge. But as much as I'm down to play through the base game again, it's the new suits and new bits of story that I'm really jonesing for. So what do you say, Ted? You ready for another Spidey adventure?
I hate you.
I love you too, man. With each of the City That Never Sleeps 3 episodes rolling out about a month apart from each other, they're in an odd position of having to build a larger story while also each standing out on their own. And that's on top of their relationship to the base game, which only came out a couple of months before the first episode of DLC. Fortunately, City That Never Sleeps feels like its own little story as opposed to a tacked-on epilogue, and it's able to put the spotlight on some characters who got pushed into the background during the main story. The first of those characters is Black Cat, who takes center stage in episode 1, The Heist, which, it may shock you to learn, is about a heist. After being heard only through recordings in the base game, Spidey's favorite ally, enemy, ex-girlfriend is back to rope him into a plot involving a valuable thumb drive, a missing kid, and deadly crime boss Hammerhead. The flirty back and forth between Peter and Black Cat is the main hook of this episode, and it was honestly sorely missed in the next two, which focused more on Hammerhead's shenanigans. Just a quick shout outs to Erica, who played Black Cat. She's actually a good friend of mine, so congratulations, Erica, you did a great job. In the second episode, Turf Wars, Hammerhead incurs the wrath of Spider-Man's friend on the police force, Yuri Watanabe. And while it's nice to get a little more development for Yuri, this is where you can start to see a little bit more strain in the DLC's efforts to tell individual character stories while also building a larger narrative. Episode 3, Silver Linings, puts the focus on deadly mercenary Silver Sable, while also bringing in the tale of Hammerhead to a close. Peter and Sable's frenemy dynamic is fun, but this is where I really started to question if Hammerhead was the right choice of a villain to span across all 3 episodes of the DLC. Spidey's Rogues Gallery is huge, with all sorts of wacky criminals who love to dress up like animals, whereas Hammerhead is literally just a gangster with a big hard head, like a hammer, I guess. I don't know, I feel like he could at least wear like a shark costume. Give him the shark costume from that Super Bowl the one time that everyone loves. That would have been hilarious. Which isn't to say that taking him down in his endless parade of armored goons isn't fun. If you were into the combat and stealth in the base game, there's plenty more of that here, with a few new super goons thrown into the mix, like flying guys with shields, and the new banes of my existence, the big armored brutes with the miniguns. I found electricity to be the quickest way to take these guys out, but in the heat of battle, they can cut you down quick with their massive weapons that definitely aren't compensating for something. That's especially true in all of the new bases and combat challenges, which actually feel like a real step up in difficulty. Say what you will about Hammerhead's creativity when it comes to his villain persona, but he's managed to inspire the loyalty of literally thousands of Manhattan's most reckless criminals. And on top of more bad guys to beat up, there's just more of everything else to do too. More collectibles, more random street crimes to stop, and more challenges to get the highest possible rating on. The challenges are a bit different this time though, seeing as they're orchestrated by Screwball, a wannabe viral celebrity, as opposed to the deadly mercenary Taskmaster. The major difference is that Screwball has placed photobomb opportunities through these challenges, which encourage you to beat enemies in certain areas or pass through certain obstacles. It's a cute idea, but it always kind of feels like a hassle, which is too bad because those photobombs are some of the only things in the DLC that feel totally new. There are a couple of new crimes to stop, including ones where you have to use your spider drones to stop bombs, but again, these kind of just breeze by. It'll be up to you though, whether you think it's a problem or if you're just happy for an excuse to be Spider-Man again. The story chunks of each DLC episode are pretty quick, but if you're going after all the district activities, there's around 3 hours of material in each episode, which isn't bad, and you're gonna have to do it all if you want those slick new suits, which, let's be honest, you do. To get the new one, you need to play your way through each episode, with the last, and usually the coolest of the 3, only unlocking once you've hit 100% on that particular episode. They're definitely worth it though. Once I unlocked all those snazzy new spider threads, cleared all of Hammerhead's bases, aced all of Screwball's challenges, and gathered up any and all new collectibles, there's only one thing left to do to finish up this game, and that was the trophies. Lots of people noted since Spider-Man's release that it's a relatively easy game to platinum, and that's true of the DLC episodes too. So then all I had to do is to get the trophies linked to the New Game Plus and the Ultimate difficulty, and my great responsibilities are all behind me. Nothing left but an easy life of swinging around the city. The Ultimate difficulty didn't feel like all that much of a step up, and I kinda blasted my way through the campaign. Not that I'm complaining or anything, but if you're gonna call the difficulty Ultimate, then I should probably feel a little underpowered and overwhelmed at the same time. It actually had me wishing for those big boys with miniguns. I can't complain though, because it was still more Spider-Man. And even with the web slinger's continuing omnipresence throughout pop culture, more Spider-Man is just never a bad thing. Isn't that right, Ted? Ted?
Oh, he's dead.
While Spider-Man, The City That Never Sleeps, definitely provides more of a spidery action that fans love from the base game, I can't help but feel that the developers could have been a little bit more ambitious. The 3 episodes feel weirdly isolated from each other in spite of their shared enemy, and you even have to switch between them on the menu to activate their various activities on the map. But again, I'm not going to complain about more Spider-Man content. The new suits are rad, the new enemies are tough, and even a relatively low-key Spider-Man adventure is one worth going on. I'm already on the hook for this game, and basically just looking for an excuse to slingshot myself over the Manhattan skyline in a series of increasingly dope suits. Those suits are the only real material reward here, but that's fine. They even threw in the suit from the Sam Raimi movies that everyone was clamoring for, just to have. I didn't even have to do anything for it, it was just there. And while my New Game Plus run didn't get me anything new beyond some trophies, I was even happy to play through the main story again, because the fundamental mechanics are still so strong. While I played Spider-Man, The City That Never Sleeps, there were 16 deaths, 10 slick new Spider-Man suits, 23 trophies unlocked, 9 hours of total playtime, and 1 spectacular Spider-Ted. May he rest easy in Spider Heaven, which is hopefully not as terrifying as it sounds. Yeah.
The City That Never Sleeps DLC pack offers quick little bursts of Spider-Man content, kind of like the release of a monthly comic. He's a character suited to this sort of additional content, even if I wanted a little bit more from the whole season thing. But I dig this game, so I'm still in for any and all further DLC sequels that this team will go ahead and make. That's why this DLC gets my completionist rating of download it.
Download it.
That's all the time we have for today, guys, so please, as always, let me know what you thought about today's episode somewhere on the internet. And hey, as mentioned previously, if you want your name featured right here in the credits, just like these fine folks here, go over to patreon.com/thecompletionist and sign up. And since Peter Parker never gives up, I'm not going to either. That's why I've got another radioactive spider that I'm sure is around here somewhere.
Hey, Gerard, I think I got bit by something.
Damn it, Bradley! When spiders keep biting everyone but me, I hate spiders, and I want the powers. Ugh!
Should I call a doctor?
No!